White police officer charged over unarmed black man's death. Kenyans hold vigil in Nairobi for Garissa victims. Mexican police killed during ambush in Jalisco. Yemen conflict. US puts arms supplies for Saudi-led coalition. Greek leader Alexis Tsipras in Moscow for Putin talks. Indian police killed 20 suspected red sandalwood smugglers. Assalamu alaikum. Hear the title. I am Fozia Dewan with the Millennium News. Now the details. State investigators arrested North Kurdistan police officer Michael Sagar on Tuesday after viewing the mobile phone video of the shooting. Authorities say victim Walter Lemmer Scott was shot after the officer had already tracked him with a stun gun. The U.S. Department of Justice is set to launch an investigation. When you are wrong, you are wrong, North Kurdistan Mayor Keith Summers said, announcing the arrest. When you make a bad decision, I don't care if you are behind the street or a citizen on the street. You have to live with the decision. Police officers in the U.S. fatally shoot and kill hundreds of people each year, but only a handful of cases result in the officer facing criminal charges. North Kurdistan police officer Michael Sagar was arrested on Tuesday. The incident on Saturday began after Scott's car was stopped for having a broken rear light, local media reported. A temporary shrine of crosses and candles has been set up, and photos of the 148 victims of the group's deadliest attack in Kenya are on show. Earlier, about 2,500 people marched in Garissa against the Somali militants. Kenya has frozen the accounts of 86 people thought to be funding Al-Shabaab. 13 has, alas, informal money transfer services have also been closed down. Hawals are widely used by Somalians who depend on relatives abroad as a cheap and quick means to receive money. Interior Minister Joseph Nkaissery said the names of the individuals and alas had not yet been released. Separately, 5 Kenyans appeared in court in Nairobi on Tuesday for suspected links with the attackers.
The government took initiative and listened to us. Today would have safeguarded the lives of 147 students who perished the other day. We want to appeal to the government. Let us put pride away, because we are not going to continue losing Kenyans in such a way. If they don't listen today, then it means they are waiting for another bigger number, because they were asking, other than the 28 teachers who were killed, do we have any other? They now have an answer. Northeastern is not safe. Let the government take responsibility, because the information had flown.
Gunmen targeted the police convoy as it traveled along a highway towards the state capital of Guadalajara on Monday. Security Commissioner Alessandro Soria called it a cowardly attack. The area is home to a drug cartel known as Jalisco New Generation, but Mr. Soria would not say if the gang was behind the ambush. It is considered one of the most powerful cartels in Mexico and involved in large-scale drug trafficking along the Pacific coast. Raul Bantij, a security expert at Mexico's National Announcements University, described the afternoon attacks as well planned and organized. A lot of gunmen were involved. They blocked the highway to surround them and attacked with military supportry, he told the Associated Press. The ambush is the latest in a series of killings in the region over the past 2 weeks. On 19 March, gunmen shot dead 5 police officers during an attack in Jalisco. The police chief of the town of Jacoalco de Torres was also killed on Monday.
At least 10 Mexican state police were killed in an ambush by suspected gang members in the western part of the country. It marks the second major attack on security forces in less than a month in the region. Jalisco has been plagued by violence from the Jalisco New Generation, a violent drug cartel. Crime experts now regard it as one of the biggest threats to security in the country.
The U.S. is also boosting intelligence sharing with the coalition, Deputy Secretary of State Antony Blinken said. Aid agencies have warned of a looming humanitarian crisis in the Yemeni port of Aden, which has seen street battles between rebels and government allies. Some 550 people are said to have died in the last fortnight of fighting. According to the World Health Organization, nearly 2,000 people have been injured over the same period. The UN Children's Agency UNICEF says at least 74 of the dead are children and more than 1 lakh people have been displaced.
The U.S. says it is speeding up weapons deliveries to a Saudi-led coalition bombing Houthi rebels who have taken up arms against the government in Yemen.
Greece is embroiled in negotiations with the EU and IMF to unblock a bailout package and could run out of funds within weeks. Greek officials have previously pointed to Russia as a possible alternative source of financial assistance. Analysts say Russia's own economic woes mean any help would be limited. Russia is not and cannot be a substitute for Greece. It can only be a supplementary option, said Konstantinos Philis from the Institute of International Relations. The shooting came when loggers attacked police and forestry officers near the holy town of Tirupati, police said. Police are accused of excessive force. Most of the suspected smugglers were from neighboring Tamil Nadu state. Sandalwood smuggling is rampant in southern India, with tons selling for tens of thousands of dollars on the international black market. Red sandalwood or red sanders is a species of tree endemic of the western Ghats of India. The tree is prized for its rich redwood, mainly for making furniture, and is not be confused with the highly aromatic sandalwood trees that are native to southern India. Senior police official M. Kantharao told the AFP news agency that policemen challenged a group of more than 100 smugglers who were cutting down trees in the remote forest near Tirupati early on Tuesday. Before heading into the end of the news, once more. White police officer charged over unarmed black man's death. Kenyans hold vigil in Nairobi for Garcia victims. Mexican police killed during ambush in Jalisco. Yemen conflict. U.S. ports arms supplies for Saudi-led coalition. Greek leader Alexis Tsipras in Moscow for Putin talks. Indian police killed 20 suspected red sandalwood smugglers. This was News Millennium. Any news, log on to the millenniumtv.net. Stay here with us. Allah Hafiz.